dig up some donkeys? Stick around. Alright folks, time to get after it. It's a gorgeous day out. I'm running solo today. Brian is on vacation, so it's just me and my rods. I'm starting off in about a 4-foot cove that is near the boat ramp at the lake I'm on. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to throw a hybrid hunter from Strike King, which is one of my favorite shallow water baits. Goes down about 2 feet. See what we can pick off right here at the boat ramp. Let's rock and roll. All right, nothing on that shallow crank on the first go round, but I promise you we'll be going back to that. I'm going to cross the mouth of this cove and it gets a little deeper. I'm going to throw a lipless crankbait across here. I'm going to toss this bone color lipless from Booyah. It's a nice bait. Alright, nothing on that crank. Next up, well, I went with a sweet shad color on the shallow crank and a bone color on the lipless crank, and I got no hits. I'm going to go to a darker colored spinnerbait, and I'm approaching a point here with a bunch of rocks on it. That is unfortunate. Got myself a velociraptor. I thought that was a big bass. Boy, I thought we were starting the day off with a donkey there. Just a big pick. Alright, the wind just pushed me through that area a lot more quickly than I would have liked. We're going back through it. There's some bass in there, I know it. This is a terrific setup here. I'm on a point, I got a breeze, I got depth changes and holes in here, and I've got a ton of gigantic boulders, which you know are my favorite. So I'm throwing down the anchor here. We're gonna hit this area thoroughly. You know, there's two theories about a big pickerel like that. One is that if there's a big pickerel here, that the eating is good and there's gonna be big bass here. Another theory is that big pickerel might scare everybody else off. I don't know. But there should be other fish here. All right, I'm gonna try to get down deeper into those rocks. I'm gonna throw a 3/4 ounce Project Z chatterbait. I'm gonna get down into those rocks. Probably lose a chatterbait, because I'll be in trouble if I get hooked on a rock as far as getting my lure back, because I ain't going in there. There's some pretty treacherous rocks, and with this wind, I'll cut off the lure. Get anything on that chatterbait. I'm going to throw an oversized lipless crankbait on the outskirts of these rocks here, and we're going to try to find Larry. Reluctantly, I'm going to move on. I promise you we're coming back here. You don't get a better spot for bass structurally than this right here, so I'm a little perplexed. We'll be back here. Meantime, I'm going to dress up my spinner a little bit. I threw on this Storm Largo shad trailer with a big white boot tail, bluegill type pattern here. So and actually I'm going to retie. I don't know if you can see that. I got a little fray in my line from those rocks, and I'm not chancing a big boy by not retying that. Well, now that's an unfortunate chain of events. I just broke that spinnerbait off on a rock, so that's no good. So I'm going to turn to another one for the time being, and we're going to go with a baby bass pattern that I have tied on here. See if that hits like that green one did with that pick rope. And if not, I think I'm going to go to a red and black one as we try some different baits. Not every day that happens for you. Maybe that's a good omen. That was on a big boulder, and that boulder had like this sharp, toothy thing sticking out of it. And it just sheared my line when it went over it. Wow, I am generally shocked I didn't hit anything in that whole area we just hit. So I'm going to change it up. I'm going to go back to a chatterbait, but I'm going to go with a dark color, blue and black. So I'm throwing this 3/4 ounce Project Z with a 4-inch Zaco trailer. And I'm going to let this go all the way down to the bottom, and I'm going to slowly pull it up. I'm going to throw a big honking jerk bait here. he was right where he was supposed to be. He was right where he was supposed to be. Right in front of a big tree with a rock in front of it. Glad I got that lure back. All right, now we're fishing. First fish, that equals no skunk. My favorite fish of the day is the first fish. All right, here we go. Come on. Ah. I'm glad I didn't get it. It was a big pickerel. I knew there was going to be a fish there. There's got to be a fish there. There we go. Ah! Another one who was right where he was supposed to be. I'm getting the picture that they're up against the shore here. That one I cast it right where I wanted to, and there was a good sized fish right there. And he got off. There's no way there's not a fish there. I knew that. Oh. There's no way there wasn't going to be a fish there. Little one, but anyway, I knew there had to be a fish there. Perfect spot. So I'm finding they are tucked up shallow today. So we're going to continue that. They're hitting the spinner up shallow under the trees. All right, there we go. All right, we got one. He was right where he was supposed to be. So, little guy, but we will take him all day long. All right. Here. This just smells like a big fish. Damn. Another giant pickerel. Damn, I keep catching these big old pickerel. Again, I thought that was a big bass. Look at that guy. Come on, there's no way I don't catch a fish here. I've got a giant tree laid down in the water. I could have a beaver's lodge. I have pads up, which are the first pads up I've seen all year. And I've got big giant rocks underneath it all. Guy with no arms and no legs could catch a fish here, so I better catch one. Big one move out. Damn.
So just to the right here.
Right there's one. Right up against a rock. Yep. Right up against a rock. There's a good one. Boy, did he hit hard. Yeah, that was one of those ones I thought he was twice as big. The way he hit. He tore that up. That one came on the baby bass with the willow blades. Well, that was an interesting day. Oh. I was just about ready to sign off. And we got ourselves a smallie. First smallie of the day. And a good one at that. All right. Well, I guess we'll make a few more casts. I'm approaching the boat ramp, so I was ready to sign off. And I was getting ready to say we caught some decent fish today, along with a couple of pesky velociraptors. And all of them so far but two were caught up against the shore, with the exception of that last one, that smallie, and I think the last bass we caught, which were out in the open. But those are the only two I caught in the open. But the other thing was every fish was caught on a spinnerbait, despite all the baits I used. I used a ton of baits today. I used a spook. I used a Texas rigged creature bait. I used about 4 different types of crankbaits, different sizes and types. I used a few different spinnerbaits, a couple different chatterbaits. So I used quite a few different baits. And the only thing we caught them on was a spinnerbait today. Interesting. Okay, now I'm signing off for real. Turns out that was our last fish. Well, we had a good time again. Interesting day. The fish were not in a lot of places where I expected them to be, and all but 2 of the fish we caught were uptight against the shore, and I believe it was the last 2 that we caught were not. So might be changing during the day here, but who knows. I was surprised they didn't hit the jerk baits I threw, and I was surprised they didn't hit the crankbaits I threw. But you know, that's why fishing's a mystery. So anyway, we got some good fish today, no donkeys, so that's giving me pause. I think I might have to rename this section of chicken thigh fishing to digging up donkeys and sometimes just fun fish but no real donkeys. But anyway, fishing's fishing. We had a good day. We put a lot of them in the boat, and we'll get that donk next time. We couldn't find him today. So hey, thanks for being a part of Chicken Thigh Fishing. As always, we really appreciate you. We love that so many people are part of the channel right now, and the interaction that we're getting, and we're having a whole lot of fun. We'll see you next time. Until then, stay fishing, my friends.